It's come to my attention that we modern day humans seem to have a pretty serious dilemma on our hands. And to none of our surprise, it is not enough snacking. Wait, what? Was that script right? Huh? A different type of snacking? A good type of snacking? Oh, hell yeah. Sign me up. What do you mean? There's a catch. Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftandbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and longevity and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic manner. Today, we are talking about why activity snacking is the type of snacking we all want to indulge in. And yes, you heard that right, snacking on activities, and how these simple yet strategic daily movement sweat-covered treats may both enhance those gains and be a cellular and metabolic shield from becoming weak and feeble. So you better start making room for them.
And here's the thing, it'll give us so much extra space in our room to do activities.
Because these snacks are tasty, all natural, and a beneficial boost at all ages. I don't know about you, but sounds like my kind of snacking. So in this video, we are going to first talk about our modern day activity problem and how a lack thereof is driving a condition known as anabolic resistance. Sounds pretty not cool, because it isn't. Then dive into some new research highlighting what exactly activity snacks are and how they might influence both our protein absorption and muscle protein synthesis. And finally, we'll get to snacking, talking about ways to incorporate this intervention into your daily routine and help optimize your pretty cool meat suit to the max. By the way, a large part of that meat suit happens to be muscle. So put down the Dunkaroos and orange tang and pick up the, you thought I was gonna spill the beans early, didn't you? We'll get there. Relax, we'll get there. But first, we need to talk about our modern day lack of snacking problem. You don't hear that very often. The cost of not using it. Muscle, that is. If you've been around this channel, the concept of using it or losing it is nothing new. It is the shockingly true phenomena of how we slowly but surely lose our youthful ability to preserve muscle mass once we enter adulthood. I know, not my favorite feature either. Driven by a natural biochemical shift, which tapers off our youthful high levels of growth-related hormones. You know, the ones all the people saying, just wait till you get to my age, are referring to. Making the biological compromise to only upregulate them when the right stimuli are present. In layman's terms, once you hit adulthood, you now have to do things to turn on these muscle-related growth factors. I know. Tell me about it. Sometimes life just isn't fair. But what exactly are these right stimuli? Well, as we covered ad nauseum in these two videos here, which will be linked below, they happen to be dietary protein and exercise. And when we fail to stimulate them on a consistent basis, we travel down the path of, well, losing it. Because, you know, we didn't use it. And as you guys know, the loss of skeletal muscle mass is one of the biggest longevity liabilities that we modern day humans face as we age. It is not only an accelerator of metabolic dysfunction and correlated with an increased risk of chronic disease, but also an obvious big factor in losing our physical function. And with that, often the things we truly love to do. And unfortunately, this has become a common path for the average intelligent walking ape on this planet, as the prevalence of obesity and chronic disease are not only leading to more sedentary behavior, but also cellular and metabolic dysfunction, compromising our ability to reap the muscle building benefits of once potent stimuli like dietary protein. This brings us to the new phenomena of anabolic resistance, or the reduced ability to utilize dietary amino acids to synthesize new protein, especially in myofibril factions, which are the critical fibers that make up the majority of our skeletal muscle. Yikes is right. This desensitization of amino acids stalls the muscle protein synthesis response and makes it increasingly difficult to rebuild, repair, and maintain muscle mass, making it a total buzzkill for them gains. Now, it's important to call out that there isn't just one reason for this resistance. In fact, it's believed to be a multi-pathway, multi-mechanistic phenomenon, with different risk factors being relevant at different points in life. For example, age-associated anabolic resistance is driven and influenced by different underlying pathways than obesity-induced anabolic resistance. However, both act in similar fashions, impairing the postprandial release of dietary amino acids into circulation and reducing the responsiveness of muscle protein synthesis when protein is ingested. Meaning, dietary and movement protocols become even more important for people battling obesity and other forms of metabolic dysfunction, which, if you haven't heard, is nearly 50 and 85% of the respective US adult population, and probably pretty similar in other westernized societies. Conditions that a sedentary lifestyle further accelerates in the wrong direction. And in case you were wondering, the data is actually pretty well established here, with research displaying that long periods of disuse can lead to rapid loss of total skeletal muscle mass and strength. And shockingly, periods of short-term disuse can have a scary effect as well, with one study showing that 2 weeks of one-leg immobilization impaired the muscle protein synthesis response to the ingestion of 20 grams of protein in young, healthy males, leading to an overall 8.5% decrease in total muscle mass in the 2-week span.
What? Bullshit!
Tell me about it. But there may just be a way to help fight this metabolic muscle catastrophe, and not only help those who need to move more, but also enhance the muscle building benefits of those who move a lot. I mean, talk about a win for intelligent walking apes of all shapes and sizes. I think it's time for this new data. Activity snacking. The study. Researchers at the University of Toronto sought to see whether breaking up prolonged periods of sitting would increase the muscle's ability to use amino acids from food and help them build, repair, or replace proteins. To do this, they randomized 12 participants, 7 male, 5 female, and had them participate in 3 7.5-hour trials over the span of 3 months. And during these trials, participants followed one of 3 protocols. First, straight up prolonged sitting continuously. This was the control group. Second, prolonged sitting interrupted every 30 minutes with a 2-minute brisk walk of 3.1 miles per hour. And third, prolonged sitting interrupted every 30 minutes with 15 bodyweight squats. These movement interventions were coined the very catchy and hip activity snacks. On each trial day, participants had the same isocaloric meal consisting of 15% protein, specifically being enriched with an amino acid called phenylalanine, which act as a tracer to help determine the metabolic fate of the dietary amino acids. And during these trials, participants provided blood and muscle tissue for biopsy and analysis. The literal definition of having skin in the game. Let's get to the results. So, what happened? Well, ultimately, researchers found that interrupting prolonged sitting with these brief walking and squatting activity snacks resulted in moderate to large benefits in the utilization of dietary protein for the synthesis of myofibrillar proteins, aka those aforementioned fibers which comprise the majority of our skeletal muscle. Okay, pretty cool. Activity snacks, pretty cool. Researchers found a boost in both myofibrillar protein-bound enrichment and the myofibrillar protein synthesis response, with more significant changes in effect size in both walking and squatting compared to sitting, suggesting that these short, barely noticeable bouts under the same dietary conditions stimulated a more significant beneficial effect in protein utilization across this muscle tissue when compared to just sitting. And all this had researchers concluding that their results highlighted the importance of breaking up long sedentary periods with brief activity snacks, stating that moving after we eat can make our nutrition better and allow more dietary amino acids from smaller meals or lower quality types of proteins to be used more efficiently. Huh, you don't say. Now, this study had obvious limitations. Small sample size, young healthy demographic, short duration, and only 3 trials. But we can't deny that it provides another glimmer of evidence around the notion of movement being medicine, potentially expanding this old adage to encompass a beneficial nutritional effect as well. Pretty wild. Speaking of wild, what does this potentially mean for us out in the wild? The case for activity snacking. Listen, I know the last thing that any of us want to do after a big meal is to walk anywhere other than a big comfy chair. But hear me out. The super intriguing thing here is the fact that these small activity interventions seem to have utility across so many different use cases. From people trying to enhance those gains and stay healthy, to people trying to reclaim their health and stave off those deterioration effects of aging. And although more research will definitely need to be done, the data to date has been strong, suggesting that regular exercise at a more advanced age can lead to an improvement in muscle protein mass by enhancing postprandial muscle protein synthesis in response to protein ingestion. Hence, there is scientific proof that intentional change does in fact make a biological difference. Empowering much? Now, I am even more intrigued by this concept of activity snacking because of its unique utility for both beginners and seasoned movement vets. It could be a great and simple on-ramp for people just at the beginning of their healthy lifestyle journey, due to it only needing an underwhelming 2 minutes a few times a day, while also showing promise to increase the muscle building cause for those embarking on their own Schwarzenegger journey, via increasing the utilization of the protein that they're already consuming. Both, may I add, fitting ever so nicely into our slow and sustainable change methodology. Because if you forgot, we're all playing the long game here. Habits over time dictate our outcome, not a 6-week quick fix. Now, there is an important caveat here. It's likely that these activity snacks may not be as effective if not matched with the right levels of dietary protein. So making an effort to get 30 plus grams of dietary protein per meal to flip that muscle protein synthesis switch, as discussed in depth here, is an important piece to all of this. Because if you don't have those building blocks and the crew to do the work, I don't care if you're Bob the Builder, you're just not getting much done. Now, good news is, scheduling your activity snacks is as easy as putting it in your phone and setting a reoccurring alert. Start slow, maybe 1 or 2 a day, ideally post-meal, or during the times you seem to be most sedentary, maybe between meetings. I don't know. That's for you, the owner of your health, to figure out. And it doesn't have to be squatting and walking. Just pick a movement, any movement or set of movements that you like, that do not cause pain, and get after it. Just remember, you're one simple, reoccurring reminder in your phone or calendar away from a potentially enhanced cellular and metabolic state. And might I add, a nice little mood boost, because we know that's one of the side effects of moving that badonka-donk. So take back the reins of your most valuable asset and stop leaving feeling good each and every day up to chance. Force the issue. This ROI is guaranteed. You just have to do the work. And if you need a little extra help doing the aforementioned work, you can join the longevity challenges in Patreon, where we as a team implement longevity-focused sustainable change, habit by habit, week by week, focusing on getting healthy from the inside out. If interested, all the links will be in the description below. Listen, the coolest part of these activity snacks is the fact that they fit into the best health and longevity category, the free 99 category, because they don't cost a dime, only time. You just got to make it important, because when it is truly important, we find a way. P.S. Imagine if you consumed your activity snacks outdoors. They have a saying for that. Good vibes on overdrive. Just actually thought of that now. So what are you waiting for? Go get snacking.